Devore is a fabric technique particularly used on velvets, where a mixed fiber material undergoes a chemical process to dissolve the cellulose fibers to create a semi-transparent pattern against more solidly woven fabric. The same technique can also be applied to textiles other than velvet, such as lace of the fabrics in burnout t-shirts. Devorer comes from the French verb dévorer, meaning literally to devour. History. Burnout fabrics are thought to have originated in France, possibly as a cheap alternative to lace that could be created using caustic paste on fabric. The commercial chemical process used in fashion garments was developed in Lyon at the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. The technique was popularized in the 1920s, typically used on evening gowns and shawls, and revived in the 1980s and 90s, notably by Jasper Conran on theatrical costumes and then evening wear and by Georgina von Etzdorf on scarves. 1990s revival. Conran is credited with popularizing Devore, introducing it in 1989 and taking the technique forward in the 1990s in his main fashion line. He refined his techniques on theatrical costumes in the 1992 production of My Fair Lady, directed by Simon Callow. Burnout fabrics were heavily used for the costumes of Eliza Doolittle and street vendors. Conran's Devore technique also featured in David Bintley's 1993 Royal Ballet production of Tumo, where it was used to create the two-tone velvet tutu worn by Darcy Bustle and the Corda Ballet costumes. In 1994, it featured in the Scottish Ballet production of The Sleeping Beauty, where Conran said it produced better results for lower cost than appliqué techniques. Conran's most elaborate Devore fashion pieces, which were oven-baked as part of the process, were time-consuming to produce and expensive to buy. In 1993, a panelled evening skirt retailed at £572 and an acid-treated shirt cost £625. Established as a Wiltshire textile printing workshop in 1981, Georgina von Etzdorf's primary focus was on creating painterly effects on fabric. Credited with popularizing the velvet scarf, she introduced Devore to the range in 1993, having experimented with printed velvets from 1985. Method. Devore techniques use blended fabrics which combine protein-based fibers such as silk with cellulose-based fibers such as viscose, cotton, or rayon, in order to create the burnout pattern. A chemical gel containing sodium hydrogen sulfate is applied to the fabric in patterns, dissolving away the cellulose-based fibers and leaving behind the protein-based fibers, which are not affected by the chemical. The chemical gel may be applied either by printing or by hand painting on the fabric.